Hi there, everybody. Good to see you today. How's everybody doing? Good. Oh, that's all right. That's okay too. All right. Well, let's just review quickly before we get into today's lesson on multiplying two numbers that are written in scientific notation. Let's first take a look at scientific notation so we can refresh our memory on what it is and how it's written and why we use it. So, does anybody remember from yesterday why we would ever want to use scientific notation? Yes, Gage? Yes, yeah, that's okay. You can use the examples I have right there. Right. Yeah, right. If you have an incredibly large number, like if you're talking about the distance between things in space, you're right. That's a gigantic number. It would be a lot easier to write if we didn't have as many zeros. And yes, absolutely. Things that are on a molecular level or an atomic level, they're going to be very tiny. So you're going to have a lot of zeros with this direction as well, with a very small number. And yeah, you see that in a lot of science fields. That's why it's called scientific notation. All right. So these numbers are not written in scientific notation. Let's take a look at some numbers that are written in scientific notation. So take a look at the number on the left. 4,500 is written like this in scientific notation. Here's another one, 0.0677. Here it is written in scientific notation. Now, Kylie, on this first example here, can you tell me how many times did they move the decimal point? How many blue loops are there? How many movements did they make? That's right, three. And do you see the three over here? That's where the three is coming from. Now, Alicia, can you remind us why did we move it three spaces? Why did we move it so that it's between the four and the five? Why not between the five and the zero or somewhere else? Right, because you want the number to be between 0 and 10. It can't be 0, can't be 10. It has to be somewhere between 0 and 10. And you're right, the decimal would have to be between the 4 and the 5 to make a number between 0 and 10. Okay, Ariana, why did we make the exponent a positive 3? We know the 3 means there were 3 moves, but why positive? Why not negative? Right? Right. A positive 3 means that it was a larger number. Yes. Okay, now let's take a look at the one on the bottom. We have a 0.0677, and written in scientific notation, it's like this. So let's go ahead and go with Zavon. Zavon, how many times did we move the decimal point? Look, how many loops are there on this one? That's right, two. Okay, so that's where we're getting the number two over here from. All right, Micah. Micah, why is the decimal point between the 6 and the 7? Right, because we need to make a number between 0 and 10. 6.77 is where you'd need to put it, right? And Brianna, why is it a negative 2 for our exponent? Because the number was smaller, right? Because the number was smaller here. So by moving the decimal point two times to the right, we made a bigger number. So we have to show that the original number is actually smaller by putting a negative 2. All right, awesome. Let's take a look at the directions on how to solve problems when multiplying two numbers of scientific notation. So let's say we're going to take a look at the top here. Okay, so this part right here, we're going to focus on this. Don't worry about the division of scientific notation. That'll be for a later time, okay? Let's focus on that top part. Okay, so here are the steps, all right? So watch this, okay? This example here is going to be one that I just show you the steps on. We'll practice the next one together, but for now, Just watch. Your first step is going to be to multiply the coefficients and add the exponents. Those are the coefficients, and those are the exponents. So let's multiply the coefficients, 4.5 and 3. When you multiply 4.5 and 3, you get 13.5. When you multiply 10 to the second and 10 to the fourth, you get 10 to the sixth because you need to add your exponents. Your second step is to make sure your answer is written in scientific notation. Notice mine is not. I need to have this number to be between 0 and 10. So I'm going to need to move my decimal over one space to get 1.35. Now, since the original number was bigger and I had to move it one space to make it smaller, I'm going to have to add 1 to the exponent here. I'll say that again. When moving the decimal place between the 1 and the 3, you turned it from 13.5 to 1.35. You made it a smaller number. So to show that the number was bigger to start with, you have to add 1 to that exponent. Okay, let's go ahead and give one of these here a try. Let's go ahead and try this first one here together, right here. Okay. Let's go ahead and it helps if we mark on our paper here. Go ahead and write down this problem here. And then after you get done marking that problem, go ahead and draw a line between the 7.2 and the 1.5. Okay. Now it's okay to have your calculator out. When you get that out, Levi, go ahead and multiply 7.2 and 1.5 together and let me know what you get, okay? You can use any calculator you would like. Very good. We get a 10.8. All right. And that's okay. Don't worry about changing it yet. Okay. We'll change it into scientific notation next. Step 1, we just need to take care of some things. All right. Second step. Does somebody remember the second step? Braylon, do you remember? Excellent. Yes. Multiply these two together, but something unique happens when you multiply 10 to the negative fifth and 10 to the 0. Right, you got to keep your 10. And what do you do to your exponents? That's right, you add your exponents together. So we have a negative 5 plus a 0. That's right, negative 5. Okay, now you can go ahead and work on turning this into scientific notation. Mason, do you know where the decimal point needs to be? Very good. Yes, it needs to be after the 1. Good job. So how many times do I have to move it, does that mean? Correct. I'm going to move it once. Excellent job. Okay, so let's go ahead and write the number here, 1.08. Now let's figure out what to do with our exponent. Since we moved it one time to the left, what does that mean, Alicia? What does that mean we need to do to our exponent there? You're thinking maybe negative 6? Oh, somebody else said that they're chatting. They're saying, no, I think it's negative 4. Okay, so we're seeing a competition between negative 5, negative 4, negative 6, negative 4. Well, let's see here. Think about it. When you went from a 10 to a 1, you got smaller. So to show that the number was bigger, you're going to need to add 1 to the exponent. We need to add 1. And negative 5 plus 1 is negative 4. So if you thought negative 4, you were correct, okay? But I can see how you would say negative 6 because you're thinking negative 5 up 1 is negative 6. Well, remember, working with negatives is a little bit different. Okay, feel free. We're allowed to use calculators on this unit, so that is fine to do. Okay. All right, now go ahead and take a moment to try out. We're going to try out this problem right here. Try out that problem, and we'll check to see how we did here in just a moment. All right, let's check and see how we did here, okay? We're going to try out this problem right here. All right, right now what I would like you to do is go ahead and type in what your answer was. Go ahead and type it in into the chat there. Yep. You can make it private just for me to see, or you can put it out there for everybody. All right, let's go ahead and check. All right, you can check and see how you did. First of all, I'm going to let you know what the right answer was, so you know right away whether you have it right or wrong. And then after that, we'll go ahead and go over how we got the problem. Okay, the answer to this one is going to be 4, or 4.0, times 10 to the positive 6. Now let's talk about how we got that, okay? So here we go. First, you want to multiply these to get a 4. And now what step is next? Garen, I noticed you had the answer correct. Can you tell me what you got to do next? Very good. Yes, you want to multiply these together. Garen, how did you get a positive 6 as your exponent, though? Very good. Did you use the calculator to help you with that? Excellent. Great. Glad to know you're using your tools. That's good. He added the 7 and the -1 together. He used his calculator to help him, and he found out that was a positive 6. Now, Ariana, was there anything else that you did after that to get the right answer there? No. Did you have to move the decimal? That's right, because the 4 is already between 0 and 10. So you don't have to take another step if you don't have to. That's not necessary. All right, here's what I would like us to be able to do here, okay? I'd like us to be able to try out a few of these other problems over here on the right-hand side, and then we're going to go ahead and submit those to my inbox for the assignment grade, and then we'll go ahead and take it from there. It was good to see you guys, and I hope you have a fantastic day.